is Vanessa from the Wreath Coach. I do custom seasonal planters, holiday decorating, and gardening, and we are here to give you all of the tips to do all of the gardening and decorating at home yourself. So if you like that kind of content and you're liking the content that we're putting out, we would love it if you could support us, subscribe to our channel, and you can like and comment and join our Wreath Coach family. If you have any questions about something specific you'd like to watch, please let us know down in the comments and we will make sure to make a video on it. Today we're going to continue with our spring planter series where I'm going through some of my older designs, some of the designs that everybody has really loved, and I'm just picking everything apart, letting you know my design process and my thinking, why I'm choosing specific elements, why I'm choosing color palettes, and how to put everything together at home to do this yourself. So we're moving away from the more modern look, which was our last video. That was perfect for a commercial property, the blue and the yellow, very like sophisticated. Now we're going into a little bit more whimsical, kind of playful. It's very pretty and light and airy for spring. It kind of gives me like woodland Winnie the Pooh vibes. We have some wood accents in there, which is where the woodland kind of comes into play. And we're gonna go with yellow and orange and green for our color palette. A really nice soft color palette. So let's get into it. So a little bit about the planter to start off. This is a 22-inch opening at the top, and this is in a corner. So we don't have to worry about looking at it from all angles. This can really be like forward facing. So your tallest element will actually go in the back. We're gonna kind of build up the back as we go along in the video, but you don't necessarily have to put your tallest piece right directly in the center. I like to push it back a little bit more towards the corner because you're not going to see that back area. So you don't want anything really short to be tucked in back there. It's just a waste. So we're going to go in first with our curly willow branches, and this is where we're going to start off that like warm orange feel. The curly willows here have a really nice orange tone to them. I believe these are about 4 to 5 feet tall. And then you can cut them down depending on the size of your space. But I found that height was really nice here. So we're adding about 2 or 3 branches into the center here. And the really fun thing about the curly willow is that they have so many different like spiraling branches that it brings so much beauty, dimension, and texture right up top into the height of that planter. So next up, I know we just talked about how anything in the back is going to kind of get lost if it's too short. You can see through the curly willow's branches. So I like to add something that's like the medium height in back there. And I'm going to go in with some lemon cypress trees. These are really cute. They smell really, really nice, and they're great for that cooler climate at the beginning of the season. And these are really small. They were only in about like 4-inch sized pots. But I think they were about like a foot and maybe 12 to 14 inches tall. So they give a little bit of height in the back, nice bright pop of that lime green color, just to sort of give a backdrop against the brick. Next, we're gonna start building in front because we really want to see sort of how the shorter flowers fill in the space before we fill in the back with any more height. So I'm going to go in with our first flower, and it's going to sort of flank the curly willow branches, and we're going to go in with some daffodils. Daffodils get a little bit taller than tulips, I find, so they can, unless you're using the mini daffodils, but these ones are the bigger ones, and they're going to go in towards the center, and they're going to bloom really pretty. Always remember when you're planting your bulbs, you don't want to plant anything that's already bloomed. It's just a waste of your money. So definitely don't buy anything already bloomed unless you have like a party like the next day or that night and you're like, I want my flowers right now. Definitely don't buy anything bloomed because you want to be able to enjoy those bulbed flowers, and they don't last long. So make sure you're getting the most of it. Don't buy anything already bloomed. Just in front of the daffodils, we're going to go in and plant some ranunculus in white. White is really nice because it's just sort of like a grounding color. So you don't want like too much sort of like saturation in that center. The white kind of like breaks it up, which is really nice. So in between the really bright yellow daffodils is going to be the white ranunculus, and then there'll be other stuff sort of in front and in between. But ranunculus is really pretty. If you've never planted ranunculus before, they do sort of continue to bloom, and they'll start off like a tighter ball, and then it just kind of opens up into so many layers, so many different like petals. They're really pretty, and they'll actually last almost like a pansy where they'll continue to bloom, unlike the bulbs where they kind of bloom and then go away. So mixing in something like that with your bulbs so that you constantly have like a flower blooming and there's constant interest there is definitely an important aspect to your spring planter. Next up, just in front of those ranunculus, we're gonna add in some yellow tulips. And those are kind of like whimsical and they kind of like do their thing. They go all wacky when they grow it out. And then in between the tulips, we're gonna add a few more daffodils just to add that contrast everywhere. So we're creating sort of like a pattern from the sides in. It's gonna go yellow and then whites and then yellows in the center. And then to finish off that sort of like pattern, we're gonna add a really fun foam bunny. I really like using these for Easter. I think they're great. They are really awesome in the weather. You don't have to worry about them, you know, melting or anything. This is just a flocked foam bunny. And the good thing about the foam is that they don't come with like a stick or anything, but it's easy to just grab a branch and you can stick a branch up in the bottom of it, and then it'll act as like an anchor to hold into the soil. So this is going to be our focal point and just something fun to have for Easter. Next up, we're going with the skirt of the bunny, which is a little creeping Jenny. I love creeping Jenny. It's that mimics that same lime green that's in the lemon cypress in the very back, creates that cohesive look to the planter. And creeping Jenny is really awesome. I'll say it over and over again. If you can get it into your spring planters, then you can use it all summer, all fall, unless you have a completely different look in mind and you want to use like ivy or sweet potato vine. I would definitely recommend to just get some creeping Jenny in really early. It's definitely worth the money. And then we're just gonna go around and fill in the rest of the front with some pansies, my favorite. This is where we're gonna bring in more of that color. Nice pop of orange in here, very deep and vibrant, and it, you know, kind of contrasts the yellow. And then we're gonna add in some other yellow pansies, but because everything in the center is very very harsh and like a very deep bright yellow, I wanted to sort of bring it down a little bit, and I found these really pretty pale yellow pansies. They're almost like a butter yellow, and they're just, it really brings that whole arrangement like down a little bit and softens it and makes it like into that idea of like Winnie the Pooh and the like very woodland and whimsical. And so I definitely recommend playing with the different tones. Like if you're going to use yellow and you want it mostly monochromatic, then be aware of like, okay, the daffodils and the tulips are going to be very vibrant, and should everything be vibrant? Probably not. So if you can find a more buttery yellow pastel in a pansy, or I know like the primroses will come in that same sort of tone, I would definitely use that to counterbalance everything. Okay, so I'm happy with all of the placements of my flowers in the front of the pot, in the center of the pot, and now I'm going to go in and make sure that the back is full enough. I don't like leaving it just like this. I feel like it needs a little bit more oomph. The branches and the lemon cypress on their own, they're still pretty and it's still simple, but I just like adding a little bit extra. So we're gonna go and bring in that yellow again into some more height, and we're gonna use our faux forsythia branches here. Forsythia is great. It's very pretty and it's a very nice pop of color for your height. However, I always find that the real forsythia branches, it's not necessarily the greatest way to spend your money on your budget for your spring planters. I would rather purchase a faux forsythia branch, know that I can use it year after year, and then spend a little bit more money on the plants that are going to go around the base of your planter, just because they bloom and they die off rather fast, I find. So I like that constant color and the height all the time. So just use some faux forsythia here if you think that you would like the same, or you can also buy some real forsythia. Again, if you're going to do that, make sure that it's all closed when you buy it, and then when you put it in, it'll have time to bloom and then you can enjoy it before it dies off. And then just one final addition to that back area to make sure it's all really nice and full and well presented. I'm just adding some faux grasses here. It just adds some nice dimension and some nice fullness to the back. And really we want this to just be a nice display. Maybe you're having an Easter party, or spring is so short. After a long winter, you really just want a really nice display. So go a little bit extra, spend on your faux grasses, spend on your faux forsythia. Those things you can use again and again every year. So invest in them when you find them, and you won't regret them, I promise. Okay, let's lean into our woodland vibe a little bit, and we are going to go through that center area and just add some of those woody picks. We're gonna go in first with like a wood pod, and these are really cool, kind of like cup shaped, and they come in some like variety of sizes. So I'm just dispersing them. You like odd numbers, that's always like a key in design. And then I'm gonna go in with some like honeycombs, and this is where I say like the Winnie the Pooh again. It's really kind of Winnie the Pooh vibes. The honeycombs are really cute for spring. The bees are going to start coming out, and these are all the things that you're thinking about as the season starts to warm up. So these are great additions to get you ready for spring. And then, of course, our little bunny, I thought it would be really cute to just add a little bow to him. So I got this really nice white and green ribbon, and I'm just making a nice little bow. It's a pretty thick ribbon. I think it was about 3 or 4 inches wide, the ribbon. And I just tied it like your normal bunny. And then you can kind of hide the tails behind it or clip off the tails, and it'll just make a nice bow. And there you have it. Now you can make the same planter at home. If you are looking for some of these faux and wood accents to use at home, we actually do sell them on our website, www.wreathcoach.com, and we actually sell this entire kit on our website. So you can make this exact planter at home with the same forsythia and the grasses and all of the wood picks. So check out our website. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know down in the comments what you think. If you're going to try it, if you have tried it, send us pictures. We would love to see what you've made. And thank you so much for watching.